Hello students, myself Bhupinder Kaur, lecturer biology from Government Model Senior Secondary School 3B1 Mohali. Dear students, we are doing the 9th chapter, that is biomolecules, and our today's topic is carbohydrates. Students, in my previous lecture we discussed that biomolecules, they are of two types, inorganic biomolecules and organic biomolecules. The inorganic biomolecules, they lack the element carbon. They are very simple in structure and they have low molecular weight. For example, minerals and water. Whereas the organic biomolecules, they have the element carbon. They are very complex in structure and they have high molecular weight. The various examples of organic biomolecules includes carbohydrates, proteins, fats and nucleic acids. So today we will be discussing in detail about carbohydrates. So let's start it.
Dear students, carbohydrates are the energy giving, naturally occurring organic compounds. But what is the exact definition of carbohydrates? Let's do it. Now, the name itself indicates carbohydrates means the carbohydrates, they are hydrates of carbon. And this is the old definition of carbohydrates. That is, water molecules is associated with the carbon atom. They are hydrates of carbon. For example, glucose having the formula C6H12O6 totally fits into this general formula. Similarly, fructose, which is having the same formula C6H12O6, also fits into this definition. That is, the carbohydrates, they are the hydrates of carbon. But there are certain compounds which fits into this formula, but they are not carbohydrates. For example, acetic acid. If we calculate the number of carbon atoms in acetic acid, it is 2. The number of hydrogen is 4 and the number of oxygen is 2. So the acetic acid also fits into this formula, but it is not a carbohydrate. And rhamnose, which is a carbohydrate, it is not having this general formula. So we can say that this definition is not correct for carbohydrates. So the definition changed and the correct definition is that carbohydrates, they are optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes and ketones, or the compounds which produce such units on hydrolysis. So the correct definition is that the carbohydrates, they are polyhydroxyaldehydes and ketones. Now students, you all know what are hydroxy. Hydroxy means OH group. Aldehyde is CHO group and ketone is C double bond O group. So just look at the structure of glucose. In glucose, you will see that there are many hydroxy groups, OH group, and glucose is actually an aldehyde with CHO group. So we can say that carbohydrates, they are polyhydroxy with many hydroxyl groups, aldehydes like glucose or ketones. For example, fructose is having the ketone group and the glucose, that is having the aldehyde group. So carbohydrates, they are having many hydroxy groups, they are having many OH groups and they are aldehydes or ketones. Carbohydrates, they are also saccharides. Saccharides means sugars. So carbohydrates, they are also named as sugars or saccharides. And optically active means they can rotate the plane polarized light towards right side or towards the left side because they have alpha carbon, means the carbon which is attached to 4 different groups. Like look at this carbon. This carbon is attached to 4 different groups. So all the carbohydrates, they are having chiral carbon or alpha carbon. So they are optically active And what is the definition of carbohydrates? Now we will say that carbohydrates, they are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. So student, this is clear regarding the definition of carbohydrates. Next, the carbohydrates, they are classified into three types: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. Mono means one, saccharide means sugar, unit. So in monosaccharides, they have only one unit. In oligosaccharides, there are 2 to 10 units of sugar, whereas in polysaccharides, there are many units of sugar. So let's start monosaccharides. Now monosaccharides, they are the simplest carbohydrates. They cannot be broken down further, and they have only one sugar unit. Now based on the number of carbon atoms, the monosaccharides, they are of different types. First, triosis with 3 carbon atoms. For example, glyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone. Second, tetrosis with 4 carbon atoms. For example, erythrose and threose. Third, pentosis with 5 carbon atom. For example, ribulose, xylulose and arabinose. Fourth, hexosis with 6 carbon atoms. For example, glucose, fructose, galactose and mannose. And fifth, haptosis with 7 carbon atoms. For example, pseudohaptulose and glucohaptose. Now, based on the functional group, the monosaccharides, they are of two types: aldoses, which are having the aldehyde group, and ketoses, which are having the ketone group. For example, glucose is an aldose and fructose is a ketose. Now student, ये याद रहेगा that glucose is having the aldehyde group, it is an aldose, and fructose is having the ketone group, and it is an example of ketose. So the glucose, it is a hexose, it is having 6 carbon atoms, and it is a main source of energy for cell, and it occurs in honey and corns. Now look at the structure of the glucose. The glucose is having a linear structure and a ring structure, and if we calculate the number of carbon atoms, the number of carbon atoms is 6, hydrogen is 12 and oxygen is 6, and it is a polyhydroxyaldose as it is having an aldehyde group. So this is the linear structure of glucose, the central one. This is the linear structure of the glucose, and these are the ring structure of glucose. One is alpha glucose and the second is beta glucose. Now the two glucose, they differs with the position of the OH group attached to the first carbon. In alpha glucose, the OH hydroxy group is present below, whereas in beta glucose, the hydroxy group that is present above. So students, this is all about the structure of glucose, the linear structure and the ring structure of glucose. Next is the fructose. Fructose is mainly found in vegetables and fruits such as grapes. And fructose is an example of ketose because this is having a ketone group, and this is the linear structure of fructose having an ketone group, and fructose is a polyhydroxy ketone. It is having many hydroxy group, and it is actually a ketone having the ketone group. So this is the linear structure of the fructose, and this is the ring structure of the fructose, which is an example of hexose having 6 carbon atoms and having the formula C6H12O6. So both glucose and fructose, they are having the formula C6H12O6. Now third is the galactose, which is also an example of hexose, and it occurs in milk and dairy products. Now next, oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides, they are made up of 2 to 9 monosaccharides units, and depending upon the number of monosaccharides units, they are of different types. Disaccharides, when they have 2 monosaccharides units. Trisaccharides, when they have 3 monosaccharides units. Tetrasaccharides, when they have 4 monosaccharides units. So the example of disaccharides are glucose, lactose and maltose. The example of trisaccharides is raffinose, and the example of tetrasaccharide is stacose. That is stacose, that is the example of the tetrasaccharide. And the smallest and common oligosaccharide is the disaccharide, which is formed by the joining of 2 monosaccharides units. Now next, disaccharides. A disaccharide is formed of 2 monosaccharides units, and these 2 monosaccharides units, they are joined by a bond that is known as glycosidic bonds. Now students, remember, the 2 monosaccharides units, they are always joined by a bond which is known as glycosidic bond, and this glycosidic bond is formed between hydroxy groups of 2 monosaccharides units by the loss of water. So disaccharides crystalline है, water soluble है, and they are sweet to taste. And what are the various types of disaccharides? First is the maltose or the malt sugar. Maltose is formed of 2 glucose molecules. Next, lactose. Lactose is the milk sugar, and it naturally occurs in the milk. So milk already contains a sugar which is known as lactose, and this lactose is made up of glucose and galactose. And the souring of the milk, when the milk gets soured, that is due to the conversion of this lactose into lactic acid. So when a curd is formed, this curd, it contains lactic acid in place of lactose, and the curd is sour in taste. Third disaccharide is the sucrose. It is also known as cane sugar, as it is found in sugar cane and sugar beet. This is the most abundant naturally occurring sugar, an important source of dietary carbohydrates, and a sucrose is made up of glucose plus fructose. So maltose is the component of malt. It is found in beverages, beer, cereal, pasta and potatoes. Lactose is the milk sugar. It occurs in milk, yogurt and cheese. And third is the sucrose, which is found in sugarcane, pineapples, mangoes, beetroot, apricots and many other fruits and vegetables. Now students, how the 2 monosaccharides units, they are joined with one another to form a disaccharide. Like I have just told you that when the 2 monosaccharide units, they combine, then they combine with their hydroxy groups, and this hydroxy group, it will lose one water molecule, and a bond will be formed between 2 monosaccharides units, and this bond which is formed between 2 monosaccharides units by the loss of water, this is known as what? This is known as glycosidic bond. So 2 monosaccharides units, they joined with one another with the help of glycosidic bond. So this is the structure of sucrose. A sucrose, it is made up of a glucose and fructose, and the linkage is 1 2-glycosidic linkage. Similarly, the lactose, it is formed of glucose and galactose, and the linkage is 1,4-glycosidic linkage. Similarly, maltose, it is a disaccharide and it is made up of 2 glucose units, and maltose is also having 1,4-glycosidic linkage. So these are the examples of various disaccharides. Next, classification of carbohydrates on the basis of their reducing nature. Dear students, carbohydrates, they are of two types, reducing and non-reducing sugars. Reducing sugars are those which will reduce the Fehling solution or the Tollens reagent. They themselves get oxidized, ये खुद oxidized हो जाएंगे और ये Fehling और Tollens reagent को reduce कर देंगे. इसीलिए they are known as reducing sugars. For example, glucose और fructose जो है, that is an example of reducing sugar. But when the glucose and fructose, they join with one another to form sucrose, then they become a non-reducing sugar. So sucrose is an example of non-reducing sugar, because when a glucose and fructose, they combine with one another, then they don't have any free aldehyde and ketone group. So sucrose is an example of non-reducing sugar. And other examples of reducing sugars are maltose and lactose. Maltose and lactose, they have free aldehyde group, so they are the reducing sugars. So reducing sugars are those which are reducing the Fehling solution or the Tollens reagent. So glucose and fructose, they are reducing sugar, and sucrose, that is the non-reducing sugar. Now next, student, polysaccharides. Poly means many, saccharides means sugars. So polysaccharides, that is made up of large number of monosaccharides units joined by glycosidic linkages. And this is the most abundant carbohydrates which are present in the nature. And polysaccharides, they are acting as food storage or the structural materials. So the polysaccharides, they are either storage polysaccharides or they are structural polysaccharides. Starch, glycogen and inulin, they are the example of storage polysaccharides. First we will do about starch. Starch is the carbohydrate reserve which occurs in the plants, or we can say that it is the reserve food of plant cells, an important dietary source for animals also. It is present in high content in cereals, roots, tubers and vegetables. And starch and glycogen, they are also known as homopolysaccharides because they are having the same monosaccharides units, that is the glucose. So starch and glycogen, they are homopolysaccharides. They all are polymers of glucose units only, and therefore they are also known as glucans. The starch is of two types, amylose and amylopectin. It is formed of two components, amylose and amylopectin. Second is student glycogen. Glycogen is the reserve food which is present in case of animals, whereas starch is the reserve food of plants. Glycogen is the reserve food of the animals, and it is having high concentration in liver, muscles and brain. And it also occur in plants which do not have chlorophyll. For example, yeast and fungi, they also contain glycogen as the reserve food. And glycogen, it is also a glucan because it is also having glucose as the repeating unit. Now student, starch is found mainly in the corn, bread, potatoes and cereals. So these are the sources of starch. Plant materials is the primary source of starch, and starch is the storage polysaccharide of plants, and most important dietary source of human beings. High content of starch is found in cereals, roots, tubers and some vegetables. And starch is a polymer of alpha glucose. And it is having two components. One is amylose and the other is amylopectin. Now what is amylose? Amylose is the water soluble component and it constitutes about 15 to 20% of the starch, and it is a long unbranched chain with 200 to 1000 alpha D glucose units joined by 1,4-glycosidic linkages. The first carbon of one monosaccharide that is joined with the fourth carbon of the next monosaccharide by glycosidic bond, and this is known as alpha 1,4-glycosidic linkage. So amylose जो है student, that is water soluble and unbranched chain of glucose molecules. Next is amylopectin. Amylopectin is insoluble in water. It is 80 to 85% of the starch and it is branched chain of glucose units, in which chain is formed by 1,4-glycosidic linkage, and the branching it occurs by 1,6-glycosidic linkage. Like we can see that the chain that is formed by 1,4-glycosidic linkages, whereas the branching it occurs at 1,6-glycosidic linkage. So this was all about the two components of starch, amylose and amylopectin. Next, glycogen. Glycogen is the stored form of excess glucose in humans and other animals. When we have excess glucose in our body, then this excess glucose that is converted into glycogen and it is stored in the liver. So glycogen, that is the found in animal body, and it is also known as animal starch because its structure is similar to amylopectin, and it is highly branched because amylopectin that is also highly branched. It is present in liver, muscles and brain, and when the body needs glucose, then the enzyme will break the glycogen back into glucose. So in this way we will get the energy. And glycogen, this is also found in yeast and fungi. Now next, structural polysaccharides. Structural polysaccharides includes cellulose and chitin. Cellulose is again an example of homopolysaccharides because they have the same monosaccharides units, that is the glucose. And it occurs exclusively in plants, especially the plant cell wall that is made up of cellulose, and it is totally absent in animals. Next structural polysaccharide is the chitin, and chitin is not a homopolysaccharide, it is actually a heteropolysaccharide, and it is the second most abundant organic substance. Chitin, it occurs in the exoskeleton of invertebrates like insects and crustaceans, where it provides strength and elasticity. And when it gets impregnated with calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3, it becomes very hard. So cellulose and chitin, they are the structural polysaccharides. So cellulose, it is present in the cell wall of the plants, and cellulose, it is a straight chain polysaccharide, and it is formed of beta glucose units. Now students, starch and glycogen, that is formed of alpha glucose units, whereas the cellulose, it is formed of beta D glucose units, and it is joined by beta 1,4-glycosidic linkages. So cellulose, that is formed of beta 1,4-glycosidic linkages, and this is an example of structural polysaccharide. Next is the chitin. Chitin is also an example of structural polysaccharide, and it occurs in the cell walls of fungi, and it is also present in the exoskeleton of arthropods like crabs, lobsters, ants, beetles and butterflies. Now last student, what is the importance of carbohydrates? Carbohydrates, that is essential for life in both plants and animals. They form a major portion of our food. Honey has been used for long time as an instant source of energy by Veds in Ayurvedic system of medicine. Carbohydrates, they are used as storage molecules. For example, starch is a storage molecule in plants, glycogen in animals, and the cell wall of plants, that is made up of cellulose. We build furniture from cellulose in the form of wood and clothe ourselves with cellulose in the form of cotton fibers. Carbohydrates, they provide raw materials for many important industries like textile, paper, lacquers and brewer industry. And 2-aldopentoses, that is the D-ribose and 2-deoxyribose, they are present in nucleic acids. And carbohydrates, they combine with proteins and lipids to form glycoproteins and glycolipids. So students, today we discussed in detail about the various types of carbohydrates, that is the monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. In monosaccharides we have done glucose, fructose, etc. and they are made up of only one sugar units, whereas oligosaccharides, they are made up of 2 to 10 monosaccharides units. For example, sucrose, maltose, these are the examples of oligosaccharides. And we have done in detail about polysaccharides also, like starch, cellulose, glycogen, chitin. So students, this was all about the today's topic. I hope you all must have understood this topic clearly and properly. So thank you, dear students.